Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. In Brazil, approximately 25 million people are direct descendants of Portuguese, and 14 million have direct Spanish ancestry. Additionally, it's estimated that about 100 million Brazilians have some mixture of Portuguese and Spanish heritage. In the United States, around 1.4 million individuals identify as of Portuguese origin, while approximately 2.5 million have direct Spanish ancestry. In Canada, about 482,610 people are of Portuguese origin, and roughly 325,740 have Spanish origins. What if I told you that both the Portuguese and the Spanish, despite being European peoples, carry Semitic genetic heritage from Arabs and Berbers? Did you already know that? And the ancient Moors, what do you know about their origin, ethnicity, and influence on medieval European history? I invite everyone to watch this video to learn more about the origin of the Moors or Saracens. Enjoy the content. The hidden history of the Moors. Moors, Mauritanians, Maros, or Saracens are originally peoples from North Africa, practitioners of Islam, with origins also in the Middle East. They primarily came from countries such as Morocco, Algeria, Mauritania, Western Sahara, and even Egypt. During the Middle Ages, these peoples invaded the Iberian Peninsula, Sicily, Malta, parts of France, and even Italy. The Moors or Saracens consisted mainly of Arabs and Berbers, who formed the ethnic core of North Africa, also known as the Maghreb or White Africa. North Africa is renowned for being home to ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians in Egypt, the Carthaginians in Carthage, modern-day Tunisia, and the Berbers across various parts of the region. These civilizations played significant roles in the historical, cultural, and political development not only of the region itself but also influenced other parts of the Mediterranean world. Since the 7th century, North Africa has been deeply influenced by Islam, which spread rapidly through the region. This brought not only religious changes but also new architecture, art, literature, and political systems that profoundly shaped the cultural identity of the region. North Africa is inhabited by a variety of ethnic and cultural groups, including Arabs, Berbers, and other indigenous groups. This diversity is reflected in the languages spoken in the region, which include Arabic, Berber, and various Afro-Asiatic languages. The period of the Reconquista marked the expulsion of these peoples from the Iberian Peninsula, resulting in a historical conflict between the religion of the Moors, Islam, and the religion of the Iberian peoples, Christianity, especially Catholicism. The etymology of the term Moor traces back to Maro, which comes from the Tamazight language, one of the branches of the Berber languages spoken by ancient Berbers. This term originates from the word Amur, meaning land. Additionally, it has roots in Latin Moris and Saracen. Tamazight is a Berber language spoken by indigenous communities in North Africa, primarily in countries such as Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Mali, and Niger. It is one of the prominent Berber languages, where Tamazight can refer to the language in general or one of its specific dialects. Meanwhile, the term Saracen comes from the Arabic Sharqian, the plural of Sharqi, meaning Easterners. Therefore, Saracens signify Orientals, owing to their Arab origin, as Arabs themselves do not come from North Africa but rather from the Middle East. The term Saracen also has roots in Byzantine Greek Sarakinoi and Latin Saracenus. In ancient times, the Romans referred to the populations inhabiting the northwest region of Africa as Maros, in Latin Mauri, which corresponded to the area known as Mauritania. These populations belonged to the native ethnic group of Berbers from that region. Later, during the era of Islamic expansion, many of these populations adopted the Islamic religion, with many also adopting the language of the invading Arab peoples, alongside their native Tamazight language. These populations joined Arabs in the conquest of the Iberian Peninsula, resulting in a significant ethnic blend between Berbers and Semitic Arabs, forming a group that invaded and conquered the entire Iberian Peninsula. By the 18th century, the so-called Moorish or Saracen civilization, which had flourished in the Middle Ages, was predominantly Arab. The original peoples of North Africa are of Berber origin. Berbers were divided into at least 3 groups with different origins, but their main ancestry was similar to that of the Egyptians. Biblically, they were descendants of Mizraim, and their languages, known as Tamazight, are closely related to ancient Egyptian. Therefore, Berbers have an Egyptian origin. A large portion of the original Moors had dark skin, as they were native to North Africa before the Arab invasion. These original Moors were predominantly black, reflecting the ethnic diversity of the region before the arrival of the Arabs. Over time, the Moors exhibited a complex ethnic mixture. Originally Berbers, they already showed a mixture with ancient Persians. There is evidence that they had Persian ancestry, despite initially being black peoples. Later, they also had Arab influence, primarily from Saudi Arabia during their conquests in the region. The Moors were divided into at least 3 distinct ethnic groups, each with different origins, but they all shared a primary Arab origin due to the conquests, and a native Berber origin. The Berbers, as native blacks of North Africa, were among them, but there was also influence from Persian peoples. Therefore, the original Moors were a mixture of blacks with Persian influence. In North Africa, especially in countries like Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and Egypt, the characteristic ethnic blend of the region is noticeable. The Moors, initially Berbers, mixed with Persian peoples from Iran and other regions of the Middle East. Biblically described as descendants of Madai, Persians have a lighter skin tone, often with green or blue eyes. This mixture between Moors and Persians formed a fascinating people, the Moors, who besides the central influence of Moorish or Saracen peoples, also incorporated elements from Semitic peoples of the Middle East. These peoples, originating mainly from Saudi Arabia, especially from the city of Medina, migrated to North Africa and contributed to the ethnic complexity of the region, eventually conquering vast areas such as Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and Egypt. Due to this significant mixture and migration of Semitic peoples to the North African region, Semites have the custom of marrying many local women to spread Islam, their faith, and beliefs. This practice resulted in many offspring being born. Arabs and other Semitic peoples have a tradition of valuing large families, which contributed to significant intermingling with local peoples, especially the original Berbers and Moors, who had a predominantly black origin and Persian influence. The Spanish language, originating from the Iberian Peninsula, shows a strong similarity to Arabic due to the cultural influence left by Muslims during nearly 800 years of rule in the region. Modern Spanish includes over 4,000 words of Arabic origin, clearly demonstrating this cultural heritage. This phenomenon directly resulted from the mixture and influence of Arab peoples, particularly the conquerors who settled in the Iberian Peninsula alongside the Moors and other Semitic peoples. Peoples originating from the Middle East and North Africa, known as Moors or Saracens, left a significant mark on the language and genetics of both Portuguese and Spanish populations. Portuguese, spoken not only in Portugal but also in countries like Brazil, Angola, and Mozambique, includes approximately 600 words of Arabic origin, a result of cultural and linguistic influence during the approximately 800 years of Muslim rule in the Iberian Peninsula. Genetic studies reveal that between 39% to 45% of the DNA of inhabitants of the Iberian Peninsula has Arab or Berber origins. Spaniards, in particular, have a strong genetic heritage from North Africa and the Middle East, confirmed by genetic analyses. If you have Hispanic ancestry, whether Spanish or from any part of Latin America where Spanish is spoken, it is highly likely that you have Arab or Berber origins. This cultural and genetic mixture between Arab, Berber, and the original inhabitants of the Iberian Peninsula has generated a unique diversity that is still visible today in the language, culture, and genetic characteristics of Spaniards and Hispanic peoples around the world. When Portuguese settlers arrived in Brazil, they were already blended with various other peoples, especially Berbers, Arabs, and Sephardic Jews, due to their history in the Iberian Peninsula. In addition to the Moors, Arabs, and Berbers who inhabited the region, Sephardic Jews also significantly contributed to this cultural blend. Therefore, if you have Portuguese or Hispanic ancestry, it is fascinating to note how these diverse origins may be present in your DNA. Exploring human DNA reveals roots that many people never imagined having, such as Arab or Berber heritage, which often surprises those who undergo ancestry testing. Indeed, human DNA holds countless mysteries and secrets that have spanned centuries upon centuries. I hope you enjoyed this video on origins, a highly requested topic. Please leave a like and share with those who are also interested in the origins of peoples. May God bless you, and see you soon.